2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
May I have your attention, please?
Here comes a great throwback. This is Nathan, Nat and Sean's Throwback Thursday podcast.
Hello, it's Nat here. It's Sean here.
Hello, Natalie. How are you?
This is Throwback Thursday, where here's what we're going to do. We're going to play you something from our archives.
Yep.
And tell you a little bit and then have a little bit of a chat about it.
Yeah, so this is throwing back a few years ago when we got to speak to a lady who's going to go on one of the first Virgin Atlantic flight into space.
Virgin Galactic, yes.
Not even close, eh? All right.
It's a catchy name. So this is an interview from July 2021 when we caught up with Cathie because, yeah, she'd reserved a seat. Do you want to have a listen?
Yes, please.
I'ma throw it back.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean's Throwback Thursday podcast.
History was made the other day when Richard Branson was the first commercial space flight.
Yes, he was.
Jeff Bezos by a week.
Yeah,
I
Elon
know.
Musk, all the gang,
Yeah.
all of the richos.
Wasn't that the main objective too?
It's pretty exciting though. A couple of passengers got to go up during that flight. But now what it does is it opens up the doors for all the other people. There's a lot
You can
of
make a
competition
reservation.
winners and also people that can actually book a flight. By the way, it's going to cost you a little bit more than a flight on
regular.
Jetstar.
Yep.
One of the people that is going to be going into space, so she's an astronaut, is Cathie Reid, the co-founder of Epic Pharmacy Group. She joins us now. Hello, Astronaut Cathie Reid.
Cathie, hello.
Hey, how are you? And technically future astronaut at this point.
Future
Wow.
astronaut, Cathie.
Kathy, this is amazing, right? So Nathan was telling us, we've been following this for quite some time, right?
Yes.
The race, anyway.
Yes.
How did you become so interested that you were able to get yourself a spot?
Yeah, look, we heard Richard Branson speak at a business breakfast quite a few years ago when he was first launching Virgin Galactic and the concept for it, and it sounded amazing. And I leant across to my husband Stuart and said, "Look, how good would that be? I'd love to do it." But at that stage, get the thought of getting a ticket was literally kind of as far away as the moon.
Yeah.
And sort of didn't think too much more of it. But then, we were fortunate enough that business went quite well, and then. A few years ago, he surprised me with a ticket for Christmas.
Oh, what a present!
So a ticket's about 330 Australian, isn't it?
Thousand.
No, not dollars.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what, though? I mean, like, maybe in 50 years' time, it'll be a few $1,000s.
Yeah, that's right.
But until, they can, pull the prices down, this is maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, Cathie. So why not? If you've got the cash, you've been doing well and you're working hard, why not?
And it was interesting when we had the chance to visit the Virgin Galactic headquarters in Mojave in California a few years ago. One of the team members there put it into a really interesting perspective, and he said, you have to think of this in the same context as the original, New York to London flights. They were crazy expensive too, and it was only the fact that there were people who were prepared to kind of sign up and pay those crazy prices that then actually made that commercialised and brought it down to a point today where it's actually pretty affordable for most people, really, to be able.
So
to
you'll be pioneering it for us.
You'll be the story in 100
hopefully.
years' time that people will be talking about how much Cathie Reid paid for a flight.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, we'll just be using our One World frequent flyer points.
Yeah, that's right. So do you know when you're going to be going, Cathie? Is there a date set for your flight?
No. Look, they've still got to finish off a couple more test flights in the program before they can actually get to, I guess, flying the general ticket holders. And then obviously there's about 500 or so people who are signed up, and there's plenty who've been in the queue for longer than me. And the last thing that you ever want to be is a queue jumper.
Sure.
And the reality is, at the moment, even if I did get the call up, it's pretty hard to get out of Australia at the minute,
Yeah,
and you've got to be able to get to New Mexico.
I would love
that's a
to
really good
hear
point.
the instructions on if you're sitting in the emergency exit row.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it'd be a real shame to get that call to say, "Hey, Cathie, it's your time," and have to go, "Oh, the bloody borders are still shut. I can't get out."
Hey, Cathie.
So hopefully hopefully by the time I get the call, we'll all be vaccinated and things will be a bit more free moving.
Yeah, let's hope so. What kind of preparations have they given you? Kind of like a fitness regime, or I don't know.
Train?
Do you have to do stuff?
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of it's sort of staying generally fit and healthy, but there are a couple of things that you can do more specifically to prepare. So there's two kind of physical aspects to it. One is the experience of zero gravity, like you saw on the footage of Richard floating around.
Yeah.
And quite a few people can vomit in zero gravity, and that would be, it would definitely make you most unpopular person on the space.
Yes.
It
comes at you in slow motion, though.
And chucks all over everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're just dodging it while you're floating past it.
That's right.
So how do you train yourself to not vomit in zero gravity?
Well, I think the first thing is to do a zero gravity flight and see whether you are one of the vomiters or not. And then that way, there's some sort of tricks that you can do the less you spin around.
Yeah, right.
Interestingly, what you eat before you go up can have a really big impact on that. So I did that kind of off the coast of California a few years ago with a company called Zero G, which anyone can actually sign up and do their zero gravity flights. You don't have to be a future astronaut to do it, and it's a huge amount of fun. But fortunately, I wasn't a chucker, so
good news.
that was kind of a good box ticked. And then the other part is the G-force. So you experience quite significant G-forces on the exit and the re-entry to the atmosphere, and not enough to need to wear pressure suits, but enough that if you don't manage it properly, you can actually pass out. And again, pretty unfortunate to pay all that money for a ticket.
And then you wake up when you land.
Are we there yet?
The Nathan, Nat and Sean Throwback Thursday podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean Throwback Thursday podcast.
Cathie, what about in-flight snacks? I'm guessing they're not on the table because all I can think about is Homer when he's up in space and he's got the corn chips and he's just like biting them as he floats.
Well, funnily enough, when we did the zero gravity flight, the crew on that actually threw out M&Ms, and you got to zoom around in zero gravity like a Pac-Man.
That's pretty cool.
So I don't think that's part of the Virgin Galactic flight, but it was super fun on the Zero G one. So I think if there is any kind of in-flight snacking, it's more going to be aligned to that kind of behaviour.
Yeah, bit of novelty.
Cathie, this is so exciting hearing about it, right? And I don't know, there'll be a lot of other people who wish they could have this opportunity. If it came up and someone offered you more money for your seat, would you consider it if it was, I don't know, well and truly well priced?
No, I really want to go.
You're doing it.
Of course you do. This is history, Cathie. This is history. You're like,
exactly.
I know those prices should go up, shouldn't they?
Yeah, and like you say, it's not often that you get the chance to actually do something that has the potential to, really change history going forward.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Cathie, so when you land, you get astronaut wings. Is that right?
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I'll be looking forward to wearing those out and about.
and only astronauts get them when they land. So how good is that? That's what an amazing memento.
Get some in Bali, mate. I know, right?
They come in a belt buckle.
Cathie, can I ask a financial question? Did you have to pay for the whole thing up front, or do you just pay a deposit, or how does that work?
No, you pay for the whole thing up front, but you can actually kind of cash it back in, I guess, any time up until your flight if you decide, or
that you don't want to do it.
Something happens. Yeah, if you decide you don't want to do it, or you have kind of your health status changes, you're not able to do it anymore. You are actually, I think you lose about 10% of the money that you paid, but you can get the rest back. So
a bit sizable for after pay.
It's good to know the cancellation policies.
Kind of like a sizable term deposit, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
And Cathie, while we're at it, do you have to adjust your life insurance to go up into space?
Actually, it's an interesting question. I don't know that I've disclosed that. So
you would. Guarantee
I don't know if you wouldn't be covered.
No, you wouldn't.
You might have just dropped me in it with the life insurance.
Yeah,
Well,
you would.
you don't have to tell them until you know when you're going, just saying. You'll be all right.
Hey, Kath, while we've got you here, we've seen on your Instagram, right, and people can follow Kathy. That's Kathy with a C, with an I at the end, _Reid. You've got Peloton.
Yes, which launched in Australia yesterday, but it's not on the West Coast yet.
Yes, we've been so excited about Peloton. Everyone, it's like a fitness bike, and it comes with a screen on there, and it's got programmed. You can follow your favorite instructors. Yeah. It's a whole fitness.
People
craze
can join in with you, Nath.
Yeah, that's taken over in America. What's it like?
Yeah, I love it. I've had my bike now since 2016. I actually bought one when in the US and had it delivered to my hotel room and then FedExed it to Australia because they weren't shipping it out there. Yeah. And I actually did my 1500th ride yesterday with the launch class for Australia. So they're not cheap, but when you put that in context, I mean, if you go to the US, if you're doing like a soul cycle class or something in the US, they're $30 a class. Yeah. And so I've done 1,500 classes now, plus all of the other things they have on the platform. There's, I did a bar class this morning on there. There's all running. There's all sorts of things. But I love it. Been a great way for me to really stick at exercise, and it's been
the convenience
part of keeping fit.
Having it at home too.
Yeah. It's been a huge part of my sort of overall fitness program in staying fit to go to space.
Yeah.
So,
and for COVID,
I love it. It's so exciting to have it here in Australia.
If you're in lockdown, it's perfect.
AFL clubs have had them for years, the programs where you just join in and you're just riding and doing all the different circuits. And Kathy, on that, we did say, Nathan showed me before, you're a director at the Brisbane Lions.
I am, yes.
You're amazing.
They're going particularly well, although you had a big injury, obviously, the other day. But
yeah. Oh, I know. It was shattering to see poor Eric do his knee on Saturday night. That's so disappointing for him. But, Eric's a great guy, and I know he'll already be into his rehab program and getting underway, and I'm sure he'll be back bigger and better than ever. But
jumping on Peloton, of course.
Disappointing for him. Yeah.
Kathy Reid, we're best friends now, so anything that happens, right? Anything that happens, you're going to let us know about this flight situation, and of course we're going to speak to you. We'd love to speak to you when you're actually going to do it as well. Don't worry, we've been on the radio for years. We'll still be here years to come in case you're waiting a little bit.
Flight to be $20 and we'll still be on here. Thanks so much for talking to us, Kathy. You're a legend.
Pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thanks, mate.
Sorry, wasn't that interesting, Sean?
It's so interesting. How would you feel? Look, it hasn't happened at this stage yet.
No,
it's going to.
Yeah, that's right. It is going to happen at some stage. There's a travel agent that I've booked through stuff through before. He actually operates out of Adelaide, but he is an official booking agent for
That's incredible.
To go to space.
By the way, isn't it? Do you know how many frequent flyer points you would need to be able to?
I'm just interested. I'm always. I don't care about the points. It's all about status credits for me. And if you've got to go platinum, surely, with a flight to space, wouldn't you? Hey,
all day long.
How good would that be? So that was July 2021, and it hasn't happened yet. Would you want to be on the first one, or do you want it to be a little bit down the track? You go, you get it out of your system.
Clearly that's history, but you don't want anything to go wrong, do you?
I know.
So you want a couple of test runs with a few people up there. Okay, they made it, let's go.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, like, we're just hearing that, remember those astronauts that went to the space station for a week and they've been up there for 6 months and they're about to come home. They reckon they'll be home within days. It's like, what if that happens to you and you're up there just eating peanuts and just going, can we come home now?
It'd be pretty flat, wouldn't it? You missed a few birthdays, a couple of gathos.
Yeah, your bones are brittle. There's a lot. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Throwback Thursday will be back next Thursday.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app, revofitness.com.au, or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.